America, we are back, baby. Welcome to another episode of America Unfiltered. We got a great show for you guys tonight. Gonna be a fun show. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great day so far. Ooh, my mic's turned. What the fuck? There we go. Got everything fixed. Sorry about that, guys. We have one topic on the agenda today, and that topic is the fall off of Candace Owens. This is something that I've anticipated, I've predicted it on this show, I've talked about it multiple times, and to be honest, every time I talk about this, it doesn't do me any favors, but I'm not going to shy away from it. Every time I talk about this topic, I have multiple people who go on, they'll give the show poor ratings, etc., all the Candace stans, all the people who think Candace can do no wrong, that even though the average IQ of a black American is 85, that Candace is the sole black female genius in this country. All those people, they love to give me shit. They love to flood my comments, calling me Zio-owned, even though I criticize Israel more than Candace does and oppose Israel more than Candace does. But that doesn't stop them, the low IQ retards in the country. But we're going to talk about it today again because, I mean, it's gotten, believe it or not, it's gotten crazier. Candace Owens went from saying that at first, let's see, let's walk through, let's go through all of the different Candace theories, or let's talk about them briefly, and then we'll, over the show, really break them down. But at first, Candace was like, it has to be Israel. You know, Charlie and Netanyahu were having at it, they weren't friends anymore, it had to be Israel, and that Charlie wrote this letter to Netanyahu, and it had to be fake, the one Netanyahu was reading out a portion of on TV, and maybe at the time, I almost believed it. And then over time, it proved to be false. Candace Owens then got exposed when the letter got exposed to all of us. We saw the, 10-page love letter that Charlie Kirk wrote to Benjamin Netanyahu, showing that Candace was again wrong about that one. She talked about the Hamptons meeting. And again, more information came out about that to show Charlie arranged the Hamptons meeting. And then after that, it was a tunnel in the ground with a palm pistol and an energy weapon. Really? Do we even have to explain why that one was fake? Then after that, it was the 30-06 bullet. It was impossible for that bullet to not have an exit wound. And generally speaking, you know, as someone who is well experienced with firearms, I understand the power of this caliber, but it is not impossible. I have shot many calibers, many guns, including that caliber, and many odd things happen. Bullets do suck, bullets do weird things, and Murphy's Law says it's extremely possible that the bullet would not make an exit wound. So, even though it is not likely, it is still very possible. Again, Candace's theory was proved wrong there. Then after that, it shifted over to, guys, Egyptian planes have been stalking Charlie and Erica for X knows how many years. And it's kind of funny because some of that information was fed by one of my viewers. One of my viewers sent some information about the planes in, and they did this after I said to a few of my viewers, send in some fake tips, see if she reads them as true without actually vetting the tips, and let's see what pans out. Let's see if she actually is grifting or what she's doing. And it was very clear to me in that moment that this was a grift and nothing more. Because Candace Owens, without fact-checking, took one of the statements that one of my viewers gave as just a complete fabrication and read it as a 100% truth on her show, proving that Candace is, again, kind of retarded. Let's see, where did it go after the Egyptian planes? Because not only was that a grift from the start, it was proven over time that her theory about the Egyptian planes was completely false. So it went from Israel to a palm pistol, an energy weapon, a hole in the ground, trapdoors and shit, to then it was Egyptian planes, Egyptian military planes following them around, and then after that, it really turned into Turning Point USA. Turned into Charlie was betrayed by all of his friends, even his wife, the mother of his children. And it escalated because Candace failed to tell the people, and it's now come out that Candace had a non-disparagement and a non-disclosure agreement with Turning Point USA. So Candace Owens was not supposed to speak negatively in a way that would harm Turning Point USA, harm its employees, put them at risk, etc. And Candace violated that. I mean, we could start the show by saying Candace is fucked. I mean, from a legal perspective, Candace is absolutely fucked. There is no bouncing back from this. And Nick Fuentes brought this up in his show last night, but a good reason, or the probably the reason that Erica had that meeting with Candace was not necessarily so they could put their differences aside. It was so they could get Candace on record and get themselves on record telling Candace this is true, this is not, providing the evidence. And then when Candace then goes on her show and continues to talk shit about Turning Point USA and blame them for the assassination of Charlie Kirk and insinuate that they were involved in it in any way, that it would be malice, that it would be malicious, that Candace would then be able to be held responsible legally and financially. I mean, Candace is literally going to end up owing millions, if not billions of dollars to Turning Point USA. That is the reality of what is happening. Candace Owens has cost Turning Point USA an unknown number in damages. They don't even know the number. They are still calculating it, and it is still ongoing. And again, I'm not pro Turning Point USA necessarily. I'm not siding with Turning Point USA, but what I am siding with is that Candace Owens has lost her fucking mind, that Candace Owens has lost the damn plot. Candace Owens, and again, this is quoting Kai Schwemmer, but Candace Owens has become the number one defender for Tyler Robinson, which is a sad reality that we're now living in. And I don't think Tyler Robinson acted alone. I do think there were other people possibly involved. I think the whole George Zinn thing was extremely weird. He was the man who was arrested on the day of the assassination who said to the police that he did it. And then he was arrested, and then they found child porn on his phone, which was really weird. I do think he was probably involved. He was probably in the Discord chats that Tyler Robinson was in, and I do think also that other people in the Discord chats knew about this. And who the fuck even is Lance Twiggs? Like, let me check this right now. I should have checked it before the show started, but I didn't. But to my knowledge, Lance Twiggs has been missing since October. Let me double check that right now, because I don't want to. Let's see. Oh, there was an update about a week ago. Let's see what it says. A law enforcement source confirmed Fox News Digital that Lance Twiggs, the transgender roommate and romantic partner of Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin, is no longer under FBI protection. Oh, so maybe Twiggs was under FBI protection. Not exactly sure. Makes a little bit of sense there. But there's a lot of weird moving parts with this, and it's become very clear that Candace is the number one defender for Tyler Robinson. And then not only did it escalate from, Candace talking about Turning Point USA and all that, Candace's newest theories are the craziest of them all. And before we address her newest theory, I want to bring it back to, again, one of her original theories. Candace, immediately following the assassination, said to all her viewers in the entire world that I had a dream. Candace had her Black Martin Luther King moment for a second. I have a dream that Charlie Kirk told me that he was betrayed by all his friends and families. Yeah, and I had a fucking dream that I was getting chased by a tiger the other night. Like, what the fuck does that mean? What do your dreams fucking matter, sweetheart? Shut the fuck up. You wrote a book, go make your husband a sandwich. Get off the internet and go make your husband a sandwich. You're losing the fucking plot. You're having dreams? Welcome to real life, sweetheart. Welcome to the real world. Everyone has fucking dreams. It's absolutely insane. But Candace recently had another dream. Charlie was again telling her more information, telling her more secrets. And then Candace went back in her text with Charlie, and she's like, Charlie sent me this weird text a while ago. Charlie told me that he thinks that he is a time traveler. Candace's newest theory is Charlie was a gifted young special boy who was sought out by the CIA very early on in his childhood, brought to this X-Man style school. Charlie had access to prehistoric technology that allowed him to travel through time and foresee his own death. See, when I say it, I gotta stop and think for a second, because I'm like, it just sounds so insane. Is it even fucking real? Candace is losing her fucking mind, and it's been clear. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Maybe towards the end, we'll talk about a couple other things, because I can't imagine it's going to be a long show. Realistically, we're just going to highlight each of her theories, show how they were all exposed, talk about how Candace is grifting, talk about everything that's going wrong with her current investigation. And again, I'm also not siding with the fact that we need to blindly follow what the FBI is saying. I'm the last person to say something like that. I actually think the FBI is very untrustworthy in a lot of ways. But I do think Tyler Robinson was the shooter, and I do think there's way more evidence to support that theory than there is any one of Candace's theories. Candace has completely lost the plot, and I do have a video I want to show you guys today as well, and I'll show you guys the text from Charlie Kirk that he sent Candace that says, "I think I'm a time traveler," which Candace seemed to take very literally. So we're going to watch this quick video. Before we do that, before we get into the entire show, I want to remind everyone to like, smash the follow button, leave a comment, let me know what you think about the show. Rate the show 5 stars on Spotify. Join our Telegram channel. Follow me on X, follow me on Instagram. All the comments will be read at the end of the show today. We're also reading our live chat out as well. We're doing a live show today. Very fun day. It's a fun Thursday. We got a good week so far. I mean, yesterday we did the show on the welfare-addicted Jews who are running a New York town, and that was a fun one. We did a reaction to Tyler Oliveira's show, and I like Tyler a lot. I think Tyler does some really great work, great at editing, great at getting these interviews, great at pushing the boundaries of what is socially acceptable in media, and I think a lot more people in media need to act like him. I mean, I explained this yesterday, but I'll briefly explain it again right now. It's crazy that Nick Shirley covers the Minnesota fraud, and it gets hundreds of millions of impressions. Every single major news source and journalist is picking it up. But then fraud is being exposed by Jews in New York, and everyone just doesn't fucking care about it. Nobody fucking cares about it. It's a real double standard, and we need to get rid of that double standard. We need to be able to criticize every single group. I don't care if you're white, black, Jewish, Asian, whatever the fuck. We need to be able to criticize you and everybody. Everybody should be criticized, and that should not be controversial. But to Ben Shapiro, it's like you criticize the Jews and a Holocaust is going to happen tomorrow. You criticize Israel and you're a rogue anti-Semite who needs to be dealt with. You play one song in a club and they lose their fucking, they ban a group of people from every restaurant, club, bar, and whatever in the entire fucking country. And they're like, no, we don't run the media. We don't run everything. We're not in control of everything. We're just going to ban you from every single restaurant and bar and nightclub and all these institutions in America because we disagree with you. But no, we don't run it all. Sometimes they let the mask slip. Just sometimes. Sometimes they let that mask slip. And it's a hilarious moment for all of us. And another thing I briefly want to touch on as well, and then we'll dive into the Candace thing. I want to talk about Andrew Tate for a second. I wasn't even planning on talking about it, but it really just clicked in my mind as we were going over this. I want to read out some tweets that Andrew Tate put up today. Specifically 3 tweets. I'm getting them pulled up right here. And they go as follows. He goes, I have prepared a video that explains what happens when you meet true global fame. Not bullshit, streaming clicks, clown show, genuine fame. If I die or am arrested, it will be released immediately. There is a reason Ye stopped. You do not understand. Nobody has correctly identified what happens if you do tell the truth. There's a lot before death. I am under incredible pressure to compromise. And I spoke very briefly about this yesterday and the day before. Those are the 3 tweets from Andrew Tate. I do think we should, as much as I do want to criticize him, and I actually did immediately, for slightly folding, like he was the top G. He was the guy who's like, fuck the Matrix, fuck what everybody else says. He threw a Sig Heil up on his show. He was blasting Heil Hitler in his Bugatti. What color is your Bugatti? He was the guy who was absolutely pro-free speech in every way, and I still actually think he is that way. But something big came out yesterday, which was buried a little, which is the fact that he is facing trial right now in multiple places, but specifically one of them is the UK, where he could spend upwards of 10 years in jail, and the UK doesn't have free speech laws. So I do think what he's doing is more to mitigate the damage when it comes to that. He does not want to go to jail for another 10 years. I mean, they'll literally put him in solitary for fucking years. So I understand why he is backtracking a bit. I want to cut him some slack, give him a little bit of a break with it. I completely understand it, actually. But it is crazy, his tweets right there. He talks about that nobody really understands what it's like when you've reached that true level of fame. I'd imagine that all the most powerful people in the world. And when I say the most powerful people, I mean there's probably people we don't even know of, that we've never even heard of. And maybe some we've heard of, but some we've never even heard of, who are coming after him, coming after his kids, his wives, his family, everything that he's worked hard for and lived for. And that does something to a man. So I think we should cut Andrew some slack. I'll sit here and say he's still the top G. I like Andrew Tate. I will stand with Andrew and Tristan Tate, even as they have folded slightly, but I understand why they have done that, like I've said. But that's kind of what I wanted to say there. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about and brush up on there. We got someone just spamming like emojis in the chat right now. Just spammed a bunch of star emojis. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're having a good day. We're excited to be I like doing the live shows. It's fun. Interactions with the chat. I forgot who it was. I don't know which one. I had two different viewers reach out to me and say this in my live chat, but they said, you should do a collab with Politically Provoked, which is a live chat, a woman named Brittany, who does kick streams. And I had never heard of the channel, but I tuned into her show yesterday for the first time, and I gave her a follow. I was chatting with her a bit. I actually liked her show. It was pretty entertaining. She does a lot of reaction-style content, similar to how I do sometimes. And I asked her, I was like, can we do a collaboration? A couple of my viewers reached out, and they said they'd want to see it. She was like, fuck yeah, we'll do a collaboration. So that's also in the works. Again, the collaborations are really building up right now. I mean, we have a potential collaboration with Brittany from Political Provoked. We have a collaboration with Isaiah Asher coming up. We have a collaboration with James Fishback coming up, which will be really cool. And then another collaboration, which I'm not going to disclose yet until I do get it locked in, because I'm not sure if it will happen. But exciting shit coming up. Someone goes, Tate was telling a story about a third world person hurting themselves for his entertainment and he enjoyed it. I thought that was pretty fucking vile. Kick people, do a lot of emojis, lol. I'm just going with the kick vibe. Yeah, do whatever you want. I'm not going to read the emojis out in the chat generally, but I read all the normal chats out when I'm doing a live show. And I haven't heard that story about Tate, but at the same time, there are billionaires who go to Russia so they can hop on a boat and then they can shoot Somali pirates off the boat in international waters. I mean, billionaires get off on weird shit sometimes. You know what I mean? I mean, look at Epstein. Like, look at all the guys who are on Epstein's island. Are we surprised that billionaires do some crazy shit? Not really. And I don't know if that story is authentic or not, so I'm not gonna... If I can verify it as authentic or if you have any proof, let me know, but... Let's get into the actual show. Let's talk about the fall off of Candace Owens. I mean, this is insane. Candace Owens. Oh, Candace. Just go home to your kids. Go home and be a mom, you know? Like, go make your husband a sandwich. Get off the internet for a bit, sweetheart. It would do you some good. I mean, at a point, people have to realize that she is going crazy. Like, I want to ask all the people who are unwilling to say, like, Candace has gone crazy. Like, there's so many people who are like, Candace is right over everything. Candace has to be right. Candace doesn't lie. Candace would never do that. Like, if we're still talking about this on September 10th, 2026, a year after Charlie's death, if Candace is still investigating this and still hasn't gotten anywhere and every one of her theories has collapsed, are you guys still going to support her? Like, what's the date? What's the cutoff line for you? Because I know a lot of people have slowly tapered off it. A lot of people have slowly said, like, okay, maybe Candace is fucking insane. I've even received 3 different apology forms in my DMs. I said to all the people, because I got so many people who commented on my previous shows, they're like, you're going against Candace? You're a stupid fucking Zio. And I'm like, dude, I criticize Israel more than Candace. I'm anti-Zionist, actually. But people really fucking love to defend this woman. And I want to know, like, what's the cutoff period? Like, we're now months and months past this. The trial is ongoing for Tyler Robinson, and instead of waiting for that to pan out, seeing where it goes, and seeing what the evidence looks like, everyone's like, no, it cannot be that. It has to be what Candace is saying. And it's like, okay. Like, maybe Candace is wrong. Maybe they're wrong. Maybe you're all fucking wrong. Who fucking knows? You guys do not know. The Candace Intelligence Agency is a bunch of wine moms. Like, that's what it is. It really is a bunch of wine moms for the most part. And any of the men who are still believing Candace, I want to float a fact out there. You know, men are either genuinely geniuses or retarded, or like just on the cusp of, they're rarely in the middle. But men are either, you know, close to genius, or close to retarded or retarded. And to any of the men who are still like, yeah, Candace has to be right, it's like, come on, like, what's your IQ level? Are you on the closer to retarded side, or are you on the closer to genius side? You know, that's a question I want you to, like, do you have pattern recognition? Do you have critical thinking skills? I don't know. If you're a man and you're still believing everything Candace has said, I really doubt it. He said it was when Nick went to his house the other day before they went to the club. Yeah, I don't know. I might have missed that part. I'll go back and check. I mean, I'd have to know the full context of it because that could be a big misrepresentation. I still stand with the Tate brothers. I love the Tate brothers. I'm giving my heart right to you, Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate. Giving my heart to you. Giving my heart to you, Andrew Tate. Take it. Take my heart. Take my heart. I'm trying to give it to you. I'm trying to just take it and give it to you. I'm getting distracted now by the live chat. I'm just getting distracted. We're having a fun day. Like I said, when I'm in a good mood, I have fun streams. But to be honest, today's been weird. I've been crashing out all day. I've been crashing out on people I'm usually nice to. I've been debating with people. I've been crashing out all fucking day. It's been a wild day. Been a fun day though. I've enjoyed it. But let's get into the nitty gritty. We're already 20 minutes in and I've barely fucking talked about Candace. But let's actually get into the video that I wanted to show you guys of Candace talking about Charlie being a time traveler and the text from Charlie Kirk himself. Give me a moment. Got to get this pulled up here. Right now it's just black screen. Sorry about that, guys. One moment here. Here we go. No? Yes? No? Maybe so? Doesn't want to get pulled up? Okay, give me 1 second. Fuck this thing sometimes, right? Okay. Give me a second. I'm working on it. Give me a second. Let me just get it to the right size for you guys. Sorry about this. Here we go. All right. Resizing. There we go. Okay. There we go. So we're going to watch this quick video of Candace. It's not a long video. It's only 2 minutes. It'll be a quick video, and then we'll talk about it for a second. We'll talk about how delusional this bitch has gotten, and then we'll look at this text from Charlie Kirk right under it right after. Let me get the audio up. Here we go. Why did Charlie? Of course, it's not fucking hooked up. Here we go. Now we're starting over. Now we're back.
Why did Charlie think he was a time traveler? He said, as I showed you in earlier messages, that he was a time traveler and he had to find me. Is that just something people are saying to their homies in text messages? And again, not anything that I would have placed so much emphasis on back when he was saying it, but it came to fruition. The other parts, he did die young. Why did he think that him dying young was necessary in order to change things? He did die young. It is related to Turning Point USA. In some way or another, at the very least, we could all agree it's related to him speaking at a campus event for Turning Point USA. I'm totally occupied by this. I tell you, I read these messages and I'm going, what is this? What is reality, actually? And Charlie died. Yes, like I said, it was related to this organization. And I think we would all agree that his death and the manner that they did it changed the world in ways that I don't think we can fully realize, or certainly not in a way that I can articulate. You just cannot pretend that all of this is one big unhappy coincidence. It's entirely plausible, I think, that they knew something about Charlie. And that's why they had him marked and had him monitored and had him likely followed since he was young. And maybe they thought, like the agents think, that if they swarmed him and they stayed with him and they pretended to be his friend, that ultimately they could control Charlie and perhaps change an outcome. They could literally change an outcome related to Charlie. So when for the first time in his life, because I do believe he was managed, I mean, I've already said I was handled. I didn't recognize that I had agents. And for the first time in his life, Charlie peeks his head up and starts to push back in a meaningful way. They couldn't stop him from becoming bigger. That seemed to be inevitable. But they panicked. They seem to have panicked, right? I mean, this is just starting to happen within a year when Charlie's going like, hey, man, I don't actually think this. I don't actually believe this. And then he goes, you know what? Take the money. Take the money out of the organization. And they panicked. They freaked out. And their solution was, no, just kill him. Just kill him. We can't have this.
So that's the video from Candace Owens that I'm referencing. And I want to scroll down here, show you guys this. This is the text message exchange between Charlie and Candace. She goes, "I'm an alien." And he goes, "I think I'm a time traveler. This is my home, but I think you found me and time traveled with me." Do you guys think this is just like playful banter, or do you think Charlie meant he was a literal time traveler who could travel through the space-time continuum and enter into Candace's dreams at any point? Like, can we get to planet reality? Can we get back to fucking reality for a minute, sweetheart? Like, this is actually, like, again, I always say we shouldn't, like, blame women for being women. Like, we shouldn't blame women for problems that are usually associated with women. But it's like, this woman is fucking delusional. And at a point, we do need to blame her. Like, at a point, we do need to say, Candace is absolutely fucking crazy, has lost the plot, has lost her damn mind. And I don't know if she could be saved at this point. I really don't. I don't see a way for her to be saved. I mean, this is actually, it's really sad that, video started playing again. It's really sad to see her go down this path. It's really sad to see her be like, oh, this is legit. Charlie was discovered young by CIA. They tagged him young. They started following him young, grooming him young, brought him to this X-Man style school where Charlie was groomed to be a part of the establishment and the system. And then when they were done with him, they just killed him. And not only that, Charlie had these time-traveling abilities because he had access to prehistoric technologies that we don't have access to, and he was able to see into the future like a crystal fucking ball. Actually makes me feel insane. But I do want to go over all her theories. I want to explain some of them. So, her theory is that Tyler Robinson is just the fall guy, that he is not involved in this in any way. Stuff that proves this is untrue, or at least insinuates that it's untrue, is that Tyler Robinson himself is the person who said, I did it, to his parents. He said he did it to Lance Twiggs. He said he did it to people in a Discord chat. He said he did it to his police officer neighbor and turned himself in. So that's, I mean, one major fact that Candace seems to ignore. Let's go down. I wrote a bunch of these down so I wouldn't forget them. Then again, it was Turning Point insiders betrayed Charlie Kirk and were involved. That it was an inside job due to, again, now it's turning to Charlie being this X-Man style guy. But before it was, money problems within Turning Point USA. Before it was tied to the possible $150 million donation that Netanyahu was going to make to Turning Point USA, which has been debunked as well, and that there were money problems involved in Turning Point, and Charlie wanted to do a Doge-style audit of Turning Point, and they were like, maybe we should just kill him instead. Again, most of it has been proven false. Another angle was the Mikey McCoy angle. She argued that people were tampering with the camera behind the set. She argued that all the people surrounding Charlie on the day of the assassination would never have been there for a Turning Point event. Again, proven false. She thought that the phone records were, that people were making calls the day. She's like, all these people are on the phone. All these people are like in maroon t-shirts, weirdly. Then Erica Kirk showed her the phone records, and it was all proven to, again, Candace, to be wrong. And then again, it goes to the, Israeli cell phones theory. She was like, there were 12 Israeli cell phones open in Israel, present in Utah Valley the day Charlie Kirk was killed. And then again, more evidence showed that, again, this was not true. Then after that, it switched to the Egyptian plane theory. Like, really? Again, like I said, one of my viewers is one of the people who sent in tips about that. And they sent in fabricated fake tips to see if it was a grift. It was a plot by me and a couple of my viewers to see how much Candace Owens was willing, or how far she was willing to go when it came to her grift. And they gave false information about the plane. She read them out on the show as 100% fact, without verifying any of the information because it was completely made up and fabricated. Then, actually, this was before the planes, but still, another one of her theories was that it was related to an underground bee cult. A network of people who all talked about honeybees, and they were doing it using they were using honeybees as a code word. Really? Like, come on. And then again, she goes like, there's no blood at the footage, although we've seen all the videos of the blood at the footage. We've seen the videos of Charlie Kirk getting shot in the neck and blood spurting out of his neck. Then she later leans into these theories about the energy weapons and the possibility of a palm pistol from somebody in the crowd. That the shot was actually from a different direction, even though multiple people there said the shot did come from the roof, that the shot sound did come from that angle. And then after that, it turns into, oh, maybe there was this trap door. There was this door, like little panel on the floor. Maybe he was shot from there. Really? She was like, maybe he was shot from behind, and that was actually the exit wound that we saw. And then they saw the video from behind, and there's no bullet traveling in. Okay, so Candace is wrong again. And then it turns into Charlie Kirk was spotted by the CIA and is part of Project Looking Glass, and he can time travel, and he has this X-Men-like abilities. And Charlie Kirk saw that he was going to die, still went down that path anyway, knowing he was a father, a husband, and had a lot more responsibilities beyond just running one of the largest political organizations in the country. I think that's something. Let me see. Did I miss any of these? Did I miss any? I don't think I missed. I think I hit the big ones at least, right? Israel was involved, the B cult, the maroon shirts, the palm pistol, energy weapon, trapdoor, the foreign actors, the Egyptian military planes, Erica Kirk possibly being, oh yeah, I forgot, the fort whatever thing. Like, she was like, oh, they were meeting there at this date. The day before Charlie Kirk died, they all met at this private military base. And then the people she said were there at the military base then posted proof with the metadata of pictures of evidence that they weren't there. They had pictures of, like, one of the guys was at, like, a grocery store or something hundreds of miles away buying a birthday cake for somebody or some bullshit like that. I don't know the exact fucking details. But what I do know and do remember is they showed the metadata attached to the image along with the image that showed that he was hundreds of miles away. And then it all ended, like I said, or not ended. Candace is still fucking going. But it came to the point where now we're at this X-Men Looking Glass. Charlie Kirk's a fucking time traveler. He's part of the Matrix theory. I don't know if it can get more insane than this, but here's what we are finding out now, which is, again, even more insane. So we know that Candace Owens on December 15th was supposed to have a public live stream with Turning Point USA. And then Candace Owens declined the opportunity to do that. She was like, I'm not gonna fly out there on that date. My husband says no. But then she spends the entire fucking day in a private meeting with them, which is weird in itself. And if I had to imagine how that private meeting went, it was to establish a pattern for Turning Point USA. It was to establish that Candace is acting maliciously, and even if she wasn't at the time, she, post December 15th, will continue to act in a malicious way. Because to sue a public figure for defamation, things like that, you have to prove malice intent. You have to prove that they knew what they were saying was incorrect and still said it anyway. Like, if you're gonna defamation with a normal person, it's a lot different. You don't have to really prove malicious intent. But with journalism and all that, you do have to prove that there is malicious intent. So on December 15th, they met behind closed doors for 4 hours with Turning Point's lawyer on the phone. And I'm sure during this time, they gave all the data they had, they gave all the factual evidence they had to show that Candace's theories were incorrect, that there was no factual basis to these, and that if Candace continues to go down this path of Erica Kirk was involved, Turning Point USA was involved, or all these things, that damages would rack up, that at that point it would be malicious and malicious intent. And that's where we're getting to now. Candace received a cease and desist letter from Turning Point USA, basically saying that everything she's doing is violating her non-disparagement agreement and that it is with malicious intent. And I to be honest, I don't side with Turning Point USA with a lot, but what I am saying is that is true. I do think that it is with malicious intent at this point. I do think she has a vendetta against Turning Point USA, and I do think Candace Owens is trying to bring them down, even if it means grifting off one of her friends' death. I think that's exactly what's happening. Candace is going to end up owing millions, if not $1 billion. I mean, Alex Jones owns a fucking $1 billion to the families of Sandy Hook or whoever. And they're stripping him of his assets. I can't imagine Candace is going to walk away not owing $1 billion or hundreds of millions. Like, George Farmer's net worth is what, like $250 million? Candace is probably worth a few $1,000,000. I'd imagine they're going to come for a lot of it, a massive portion, if not all of it. I'd imagine this is something that could be life-wrecking to Candace Owens for her to continue down this path. Candace Owens is really fucking herself over because Candace Owens shows through her own show and through the evidence that's been provided not only by the viewers, but by people like me, by people in the media, by Turning Point themselves, that Turning Point most likely was not involved, that Turning Point would have little to nothing to gain from this. And I tend to believe Turning Point on this issue, that they were not involved, that maybe there are bad actors inside Turning Point, but I don't think any of them conspired to kill Charlie Kirk. I think they were all actually very sad about it. And again, I don't like the way Erica Kirk has been acting. I've been open and honest about that. She's not home with the like, imagine your father gets shot in the fucking neck and your mother, who is your only remaining parent, is out of the house most of the time. She's running the largest political company. She is doing a fucking press tour. She's walking out on stage to pyrotechnics. She's getting her hips grabbed by J.D. Vance and grabbing the back of his hair. I mean, to be honest, who should be scared is Usha Vance. I mean, Usha Vance should be the one who's scared. I'm surprised that Usha Vance is pregnant and not Erica fucking Kirk. I'm surprised J.D. Vance is still tapping that and not tapping Erica Kirk at this point. I mean, that's a shock to me. But yeah, I do not think that there is a factual... I don't think there's anything factual to show that Turning Point was actually involved in this at this point. And I think Candace at this point has gone far off the deep end. I mean, her saying continuously... in my dream, like, let me see if I can get this video pulled up, because I talked about it the other day. Let me see. Yeah, here. Okay, I have it right. I have it right here. So, again, you guys know my feeling about the Daily Wire. It's Israeli-controlled media. Very rarely do they put out anything that's worth looking at. I do kind of like Matt Walsh, but at the same time, I think he's a little bit of a pussy for the way he works for Ben Shapiro. You know, obviously, it's Zio-owned, Israeli-owned media. They don't allow him to talk about a lot. They don't allow anyone to criticize Israel. But one thing that is funny, and this is objectively funny, and it's not me saying that go Daily Wire or pro Daily Wire, I'm very against them, but we can call out things that are objectively funny when we see them, and something is, they still own the rights to Candace Owens' podcast, and not the one she's currently doing, the Candace Owens show or whatever on YouTube, but the show that she did with Daily Wire. They still own that. That's one of the reasons I think Matt Walsh is scared to leave, because he'll lose everything he's done over the last X amount of years, including the movies, the show, all that. But Candace Owens, her show that she had with Daily Wire is still owned by them, and they still own the X account called Candace Owens Pod, the Candace Owens Podcast. And what they did is they cut up a little highlight reel of Candace Owens talking about her dreams. And I thought it was a little funny, and I'm going to show it to you guys actually, because I think it's worth showing. I think it is funny objectively, even though I don't agree with Daily Wire. I think it's a good thing to show. And I think it just kind of shows a little bit how crazy she is. Because again, as wrong as Daily Wire is about most things, this is just, it's still funny. And it proves how fucking crazy this woman, I mean, if you're ever talking to a woman, she's like, in my dream, this happened, and it's got to be real. In my dream, I was told this. Like, it's like, okay, bitch, you're crazy. Like, that's the point where you start backhanding your wife. That's the point where you tell your wife to go sit in the other fucking room. Like, let's call a spade here. But let's pull up this quick clip. This is the clip made, again, it's by the Daily Wire. Not really a big fan of the Daily Wire at all, like I said, but funny video. And it's called I Have a Dream by Candace Owens.
I had a dream. I had a dream. I had a dream. And like I said, this one was clear. I had a dream that Charlie was betrayed. I had a dream, and I feel as strongly about the dream that I had that Charlie was betrayed by people closest to him. Never ignore your subconscious. That's why I say I pay attention to my dreams.
Have you ever had a dream that...
No, you had a dream. Charlie told you he was... Yeah, Charlie told me that he was betrayed.
So Charlie in his dream is like, Candace, I was betrayed. You have to save us all. And she didn't think, maybe I took a little bit too much melatonin last night. Maybe I mixed the wine and melatonin.
He was sitting on the patio and he was eating hummus. He's like, this is the best hummus I've ever tasted in my life. I had a dream. It was so clear. I promise you can actually fact check this with Village Crazy Lady, my girl Mel.
You'll do.
Loving your emails telling me about your dreams. People in Turning Point had dreams. Dreams can give you some sort of intuition, and I certainly think that mine gave me a lot of intuition. Oh, the cool kids don't pay any mind when they have a very vivid dream. And Charlie in the dream says he was betrayed. Oh, the cool kid, that's so, haha, it's not cool. I have been having a lot of dreams.
You want.
Candace Owens, and to try to paint her as a crazy person because she had a dream. And I'm sticking with the dream. But many people actually had dreams and they email me them all the time. And I had another vivid dream. The dream was so vivid. It was like, if you've ever seen Harry Potter, they're just going on vibes in a dream on the Candace show. That's it. She had a dream and now she's just blindly pointing the finger at everybody. Tell me who betrayed you. It wasn't until the third week after his death that finally one face came through in this dream. It came through as clear as day around the corner of the restaurant. And it was
you want him to do you so much you could do anything.
Sorry, that was a dream that I had.
Yeah,
I had a dream. I had a dream. And
why does it keep fucking doing? This tweet under is kind of funny. How disrespectful and racist to post this on MLK Day. You people are sick and shut the fuck up, you stupid bitch. Like, shut the fuck up. Who fucking cares what day it was posted on? Suck my dick. People like that are just fucking annoying. But yeah, again, the fact that Candace is like, guys, I saw the person who did it peeking around the corner in my dream. I had a dream. It was vivid. Yeah, I could see everything. I could dodge bullets. I'm in the Matrix. It was a palm pistol. It was an energy weapon. It was the bee cult. It was the trapdoors. It was the X-Men. It was the Project Looking Glass. It was... What else did she say? Wasn't there a fucking point where she was saying that it was MK Ultra? Like, come on. Like, it's gotten to the point where it's like, at a point it was just kind of funny. Like, I was laughing at Candace. I was saying, she's going crazy. But now it's gotten to the point where I'm actually, like, concerned. Like, I genuinely, as a human being and as a follower of Christ, I am concerned for Candace. I think she has gone too far. I think she is falling into some form of, like, propaganda. I think she is losing the plot in a lot of ways. And I think Candace just needs to take a break. Candace needs to take a month or two off the show, stay home with her kids, be a mom, be a wife, and then come back and then reevaluate her positions. And if she continues on the grift, she continues on the grift. And I won't agree with it still, but at least at that point, we'll know she's fucking insane. I mean, I really think she is just, maybe she's spiraling because her friend died. Maybe she is just a crazy fucking black woman. I'm just throwing theories out at this point. But I think Candace has really fucking lost it. I don't think that anything she's saying can be taken seriously at this point. I mean, very little that she's saying can be taken seriously. And Ian Carroll as well. Ian Carroll, someone where it's like, I've liked some of his previous content, but I think he's really lost the plot as well. I think he's gone off the deep end. He's even at the point, he's like, Epstein wasn't even Jewish. He was a Satanist. It's like, dude, what do you go deliver pizzas again. Get 30 minutes or less. Where's my fucking Domino's order? I'm missing it. It's been 45 minutes, Ian. I'm waiting on my Domino. Where's my large pizza? Come on. It's gotten to a point where it's like you can't defend it anymore. It's getting really hard to defend her actions. It's getting really hard to defend any of it. And not that I have been, but for all the people who are, I want to, and this is me genuinely asking you, I'm not patronizing, I'm not being an asshole, although I may seem like it. What do you guys find valid about her theories? What do you guys find to be credible about them, considering every one of them gets debunked? And a lot of people keep saying the thing like, oh, she's just like, plug and play. She's putting everything out there trying to see what sticks. And it's like, at a point, you have to realize how damaging some of the things you're saying are. Like, you can't just plug and play with a thing of this magnitude. You can't just say, like, oh, it was possibly Turning Point, but it was definitely Turning Point. I saw it in a dream. I saw Andrew Colvett and Mikey McCoy in a dream. I saw them doing this, conspiring against everyone, and Andrew Colvett's a pedophile. Like, all the fucking crazy shit she's saying. She has to realize the damages to it. That Erica Kirk, the mother of Charlie Kirk's children, and Charlie Kirk's wife is conspiring to kill him. Like, come on. You're either taking too much Xanax, too many SSRIs, or maybe you're hitting the fucking bottle, you're hitting the sauce a little. Is that what it is, Candace? Or are you just another low IQ sub-Saharan? Like, what is it? What is it? Like, seriously. Because at this point, I feel like, I don't know. I feel bad for her. I feel bad for her family. I feel bad for Charlie Kirk's children. I feel bad for Erica Kirk. I feel bad for a lot of people in this. And I feel really bad for all her fans who have been lied to and, for this long. And again, the final point I want to reiterate, which I said earlier, and I want to reiterate now before we wrap things up, is at what point is it too much? At what point has it been going on too long, and does it become a grift for the people who at this point are saying that Candace is correct or Candace is doing the right thing? Because I asked this same question when it comes to, like, race. A lot of people, they're like, oh, black people still haven't recovered from slavery and years of segregation and redlining. And, like, it's the white man's fault that the black people are failing so much at reading, writing, math, schools, violent behavior, dads being in the homes, etc. All the ways that the black community is currently failing. And I always ask the question, I say, after how many years does it stop being the white man's fault? I say, if we get to the year 2125, like in 100 years or whatever, is it still the white man's fault if black people are doing the same at that point? Is it still the white man's fault, or what point does it stop? And that's what I ask here. At what point does it stop for you guys? Like, what point does it become a grift? If September 10th, 2026 rolls around and Candace is still like, guys, it could be this person the turning point. It could be Israel. It could be the Egyptian plains. Could be a palm pistol. Like, are you guys still going to be going along with it? At what point? Like, if in 2 years she's still doing it. If in 6 months she's still doing it. If in a month she's still, like, at what point? And this is a genuine question. I genuinely want to understand the mind of a Candace Owens stan. The people who will stand by her no matter what she says, what she does, how fucking crazy it seems. Because anybody who's listening to somebody who's like, I had a dream and that dream told me exactly who assassinated Charlie Kirk is just batshit crazy. You're hitting the Ambien, you're hitting the melatonin too hard. Maybe you're mixing the sauce with it. I don't fucking know what it is. But you have to realize people don't have these like vivid dreams that tell them the future. And people who think they do are genuinely fucking insane. Like I had a dream the other night I'm being chased by a tiger. Am I going to be chased by a tiger one day? Was that me seeing into the future? I had a dream one day that I was like flying a fucking plane. Like, am I going to become a pilot one day? I have crazy dreams all the time. I sleep like shit. I take melatonin occasionally, and I have fucking insane sick dreams sometimes when I'm on it. Do I think those dreams are real? No. Again, I'm not a genius, but I'm a higher IQ individual. I have good critical thinking skills, but like people with basic critical thinking skills could realize that your dreams are not reality and they're not telling you secrets that are unknown to the universe. But Candace Owens seems to have lost the plot. Candace Owens seems to have lost all sense of reality. Candace Owens seems to have fallen so fucking hard off the deep end, and I don't know if we could save her. I think the only thing that could save Candace Owens at this point is herself, is her kids, is her husband. Like I said, my message to Candace Owens is take a month, take 2 months off the show, go be a mom, go be a wife, and reevaluate. Reevaluate. If in that time you want to do your own digging on your own time, see if you could come up with anything else, so be it. But stop ruining people's lives in the public eye so you can grift and get millions of thousands of dollars through your view. Like every single day, every Monday through Friday, since Charlie Kirk has been assassinated, Candace Owens has done a live stream. And every one of those live streams have been about Charlie Kirk. And in every one of those live streams, she's making money. So at what point does it become a grift? That's my question to the viewers of the show who are going to click on it because Candace Owens' name is in it, and they're going to be like, oh, this guy's criticizing Candace. Fuck him. He's Zio-owned. He's a piece of shit. He must be Zio-owned. He must have taken a $7,000 check from Israel. One thing, if I took a $7,000 check from Israel, I'd have health insurance. I'm poor. I don't have health insurance. I do this show, and I make a minimal amount of money doing it. I think the entire, thing of like accusing people of being Zioan because they disagree with Candace is the lowest IQ of anti-Semitism that's out there. Lowest IQ bullshit out there right now. It's insane. We could disagree with Candace Owens without taking money from Israel. I say crazier shit about Israel. I criticize organized Jewry. I criticize the Jewish oligarchs. What the fuck is Candace doing? Doing interviews with Harvey Weinstein? So, again, that's going to be like pretty much the entirety of the show. Let me see if I had anything else saved to talk about. I really don't think so. I wrapped that up faster than I thought I would. We didn't talk about it for crazy long just because, again, there's not a crazy amount to talk about with it. You know, she had a bunch of crazy theories. We went over them. All of them were proven false, but Candace Owens doesn't give a shit. And then here's the tweet about the non-disparagement clause. So Candace Owens has received a cease and desist letter from Turning Point USA to stop her speculation over Charlie Kirk's death. The letter states that Candace violated the non-disparagement clause of her NDA with the organization by spreading unfounded rumors about the organization's involvement with Charlie Kirk. And again, what they're doing is they're finding out right now. They're using accountants to figure out what dollar amount in damages this has caused. How much money are they losing because of this? Which is probably a very hard thing to evaluate because you have to factor in a lot of money is probably lost because Charlie Kirk is no longer the face of the brand. But they did receive a record amount of donations from people around the country immediately following Charlie Kirk's assassination. But then they have to factor in how much money is Candace making them lose every month, every year, etc. And when that number comes out and Candace has to have her day in court over this, Candace is going to be fucked. I mean, Candace does not stand a chance in that case. And why doesn't she stand a chance? Because every one of her theories about Turning Point USA, about the individuals involved, about her dreams and fucking MLK aspirations has been proven false. Like, this is the tweet from Candace. What is going on at Turning Point right now should be termed the Scottsdale witch trials. I have now gathered first-person accounts that executives are dragging people into offices asking about their allegiance to Erica, specifically one person who told that an Uber driver told their CMO that his daughter was friends with an employee who didn't like Erica. Andrew Colvett then hauled the Uber-mentioned employee into an office, questioned her about the driver's account, regarding which she was totally mystified. Another person had the Turning Point in-house counsel show up at her personal home, tell her she was fired, hi, I'm outside, you were fired, and then demanded she not delete anything and hand over her company laptop. Another young woman thought she was going in for a bonus because they had worked so hard on AmFest and have not stopped since Charlie's assassination, despite $250 million raised since Charlie's assassination. She was fired, no reason given. She believes Turning Point may have installed some sort of spyware on their company laptops because the previous evening she had communicated to another Turning Point employee that she wasn't fond of Erica's leadership style. We have a recording of her firing and we'll be releasing it later today. That's gotta be against the non-disparaging. Like, she's never going to beat this case. What is especially incredible is that none of my actual sources were terminated, but these people were. That last line's retarded because she's only going to get more people fired with that. But second thing, one, in a lot of states, including the state I'm in, you do not have to give a reason to fire somebody. You don't. Like, if I had a bunch of them, I don't have any employees, but if I had employees, I could literally fire them because I don't like the cut of their jib that day. Like, you could fire people for any reason in a lot of different states. Second thing, it's like if people aren't aligned with the CEO, is that basis for firing? At some companies, yes. At political organizations, maybe. Do I necessarily agree with it? Not 100%, but is it a basis for firing among large political organizations? Possibly. Let's see. When she goes, the person showed up, the in-house counsel showed up outside someone's home and said, you are fired, I am outside. That is not unusual, actually. Although it might seem unusual, that is not unusual. And when they're like, we need to take back your company property. The reason they're there is to collect the company property. And when they're like, don't delete anything, yes, that's standard procedure. That is standard procedure. And then, what was the other thing she said? That they might have put some form of spyware. Every financial company I know, or every political company that I know, monitors the company laptops that they give out to employees on some level. Maybe they're reading the emails. Maybe they're monitoring applications you install or what you're recording on that laptop. But on some level, every laptop or every piece of technology given from a political organization to its employees or a financial organization to its employees are monitored. So again, this is nothing unusual. But Candace is like, breaking news, guys, I had a dream. Fucking insane. Let's see, did I have anything else that I wanted to... Not really. I mean, there's a couple other really small things we'll touch on tomorrow. We'll talk tomorrow about the aftermath of the Minnesota church storming. We highlighted that the other day. But people actually got arrested. Again, I was one of the people saying I don't think anything will even happen because the government has failed to hold anyone accountable. But 3 people got arrested. I wish it was more. It should be more. But we can celebrate the 3 getting arrested, and they were some of the craziest fucking people. It was the people getting in women's faces, screaming, kids' faces, screaming. Trying to hold like 8-year-old kids accountable for Renee fucking Good's death. Renee died because she tried to run over an ICE officer. Or even if she didn't try to, she did like drive at an ICE officer even if it wasn't intended, and she got shot in the process, and that's what's going to fucking happen. So that's going to be the entire show for the day. We are going to go over to the comments. We are going to go over all the Spotify, YouTube, if anything pops up in the Kick Live chat comments, we're going to talk about it all. We're going to respond to all the comments. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. Hope you guys enjoyed. And again, my final thing I'll say is it's just reiterating what I said before, but I'm sad about this. Like, I used to like watching Candace. I liked Candace as a person. I found her entertaining. I think Candace has fallen off the deep end, and I don't think she's even realized it. I think Candace has embedded so much that she doesn't realize she's wrong. When you embed into an idea and you don't realize that like everything you're going off of is completely fabricated, fake, or made up in your own mind, it's a dangerous path, and I think that's the path Candace is on, and I think if she doesn't hop off it quick, it's only going to get crazier and worse. I mean, again, we went from a bee cult to trapdoors to energy weapons and palm pistols to Egyptian planes and Israeli influence and Erica Kirk and Andrew Colvin and Mikey McCoy and the camera behind, to now we're at Charlie Kirk was a time traveler with prehistoric time traveling technologies, and he saw his death. He knew he was going to die. Still did it anyway. Left his wife and children to be fatherless. At a point, wouldn't that be considered suicide? Like if Charlie Kirk saw into the future, saw that if he did that, that would happen. At a point, wouldn't that be considered suicide, which would be a sin, which would theoretically end Charlie up in hell? Which, again, I don't think any of that's real. I think the idea that Charlie Kirk was a time traveler or was part of Project Looking Glass and could see the fucking future, I think that's as retarded as it gets. So that's what I'll say about it. The big questions I have for the viewers are, at what point, at what time period, at what date does it become a grift to you? Like September 10th, if it's still going on in 2027, like at what point does it, like there has to be a point in your mind where you're like, okay, she's probably gone a little crazy. At what point does it become a grift to you? And then what do you actually find credible about any of this? And do you think Candace can be saved at this point? Those are the bigger questions I have for people. But thank you guys for tuning into the show. We're going to pull up the comments now. I want to remind everyone to like, smash the follow button, leave a comment, let me know what you think about the show. Rate the show 5 stars on Spotify. Follow me on X, follow me on Instagram. Join my Telegram. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow me on Kick. You guys know the deal. Let's see. Someone goes, you saw the future, bro, when you were getting pilot's license. Dude, I mean, I'm great at Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I don't think I have any aspirations to be a pilot. No, sorry. All right, let's start reading the comments. Let's start over with YouTube, then we'll go over to Spotify, and we'll continue to read out, stuff that we see in the Kick Live chat as well. Let me get the comments pulled. We didn't really have many comments on YouTube, but we had a few. Yeah, and we're still very shadow banned on YouTube. YouTube does not like me, sadly, because I criticize Israel. And who is owning YouTube? The Jews. All right, let's go.
Thanks for the thoughtful response to my question about James Fishback. One thing your response made me think about is that polls tend to favor candidates like Byron Donalds who are friendly with institutions. Since the people most likely to respond to polls are also more likely to trust those institutions. This is why Clinton, Biden, and Harris all underperformed their polling numbers in their respective presidential elections. Thanks for the commentary.
Yeah, and I also think polls are bad in general. I think like the better thing to look at is betting markets. And right now, I mean, it is correct that James Fishback is behind in the betting markets, but same thing. It's like Donnie when he started was way behind, and then he eventually got to like 93%. Those things flip. I actually, again, not financial advice by any measure. Can't sue me for this. But me personally, I have bet on Kalshi that Fishback will win because I think it's likely. But again, it's not me telling you guys to go fucking do it. No, not financial advice. You cannot fucking sue me. Go fuck yourselves if you want to sue me. But yeah, I do think Fishback is a legit candidate who does have a really good shot at winning. And it's like, if he doesn't win, we're kind of fucked here in Florida. I mean, Jay Collins wants to take our right to free speech away for criticizing Israel. I'll probably have to fucking move out of Florida at that point. And Byron Donalds, I mean, the guy's still living in fucking Section 8. He's been arrested. He's an absolute retard of a person, and he takes millions from AIPAC.
Saw a video of an ICE agent detaining a Mexican father while his kids and wife watched and cried.
Don't you think that's the father's fault for putting his family in that position? You know, he could have avoided that by just staying where the fuck he belonged. Maybe it's that simple, right? Like, I hate that. You gotta feel bad. A kid and his wife saw the father getting deported. It's like, okay, well, he did break U.S. Code 81325. He violated that, and he broke into our country. So, deport his ass. I don't fucking care. And guess what? If his family's so sad about it, they can leave with him, for all I fucking care.
Fuck my tax man at work, we are over.
Fuck my tax man at work, we are over. Yeah, it's crazy. That's in response to the welfare. Are you in New York? I think it's New York taxes that are going to that. Maybe it's federal as well. Yeah, that was a crazy video yesterday. Someone in the comments goes, shout out to Fidel. He's a pain in the ass, but keeps the show fun. Yeah, me and Fidel have this little... Again, I think me and Fidel probably agree on like 75 to 85% of issues, but we really disagree on the Israel issue. Really disagree on that, and that's where we butt heads the most.
Nakim Levi Armstrong got arrested, hit with a felony. Damn, I hope that I possibly had something to do with getting arrested.
Yeah, that's the woman who led the protest into the church. So disrespectful and disgusting by her. I hope they really make an example out of these three people. Like, and by that I mean they really need to give these people harsh sentences.
We call that communism.
Yeah, it kind of is a communist town what's happening there. And that's like the point I make a lot. Like, a lot of Jews act in a communist fashion. That is true.
Another day, another great podcast by James calling out BS but Matt Walsh. What's your opinion? His movies about slavery and how America was actually ran has been getting pushed in my feed lately. Just wanna get your opinion because honestly I'd like to believe it, but his whole connection with the Daily Wire has me skeptical.
I haven't watched it yet. I can't imagine the slavery thing is... I've seen... The movies I've seen from Matt Walsh are the What is a Woman and Am I Racist? Which actually, like, the What is a Woman did a lot. Like, it had a huge effect. Huge effect. Yeah, especially with, like, the Scremty decision and all that. The Am I Racist was more just comical. And objectively kind of funny. I haven't seen the slavery thing, but I doubt it's going to be truthful, just for the sole fact that it's not going to include the Jewish aspect of the slave boats and things like that. If you want to see a good documentary about it, what's that one that Kyrie Irving got in trouble, the basketball player? Was it Hebrews to Negroes or something? Let me see. I'm looking it up. It's called Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America. Check out that one. That's a crazy documentary about slavery. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's not all untrue. I'm sure a lot of it's about how black people sold black people to other, like, black people were selling other black people is probably what he's going to get at, is what I'd imagine. But it's not the entire story, even if it is a partial truth. But again, I like Matt Walsh a lot. I just think he's IO owned. I mean, his boss is Ben Shapiro. Like, get back to work, Matt Walsh. Do not criticize Israel. Someone in the live chat goes, Fidel debate when? That's a question for Fidel. Fidel is an open invitation to come on the show. Fidel, Let's debate. The Orthodox Jew versus the American Christian nationalist. We would do numbers, Fidel.
America First baby needs to spread the word at my home state of Iowa. Love the show. Keep up the great work.
We need America First. The America First people will be in Iowa come the 2028. We'll be there. Depends on Vance, I guess, but we'll be there. Either probably campaigning against Vance, but yeah.
Honestly, nothing surprises me anymore.
Yeah, nothing surprises me.
Reading and responding to comments is good sh. Not a lot of people do it. I respect it. Saluting face.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, I want more people to start sending fucking super chat. Come on, guys. I'm broke as shit. If you guys send me like just a few $100s in super chats a month, and I'm not saying everybody has to send me a few $100s. If I can just get a few $100s in super chats a month, I can afford health insurance. To be blatantly honest with all my viewers, and a lot of the long-term viewers know this, I don't have health insurance. I am poor as fuck. I am poor as fuck. Like, I can afford, you know, the extreme basic necessities of life. I can afford my rent. I can afford my car payment and my car insurance and my food. And I can barely afford that. I don't have health insurance. Like, you know, if you guys fucking help a brother out, I send me some fucking super chat. Like, I'm not trying to be a beggar here, but, you know, I do a good show, and it's a free show. Someone goes, what's my Cash App? I don't have Cash App. Hit me on super chat. Hit my super chat. Just go on any of my shows, on any of my things, hit the entropy link, and fucking just right there. And then again, you'll get your message read out on the show. Be a fun day. Super chats always come first. But again, no one has to do it. Like, I don't expect, just to be clear, I don't expect anyone to donate money. I never expect it. But what I do say is it is very welcomed, and I am broke. And if you guys like the show, if you enjoy watching the free show with no ads, if you guys enjoy the things I talk about and you want it to, like, here's the thing, like, I have a shit camera as well. Like, I have like a fucking $50 camera. I got a little bit of money at Christmas, and I took that and I bought a camera, and I should be getting it soon. New camera. But it's like, the show could improve. Like, I could get better lightings, better green screen, better camera. I could get fucking health insurance. The show could improve with some, you know, some financial support here. So, you know what I mean? And I don't want to take ads. Like, I've turned down 2 advertisers because I didn't agree with what they were selling. And, you know, I also just don't like the idea of doing ad reads. So it's like, I don't know. Someone goes, super chat where? Do they take a cut though? Yeah, they take a cut for sure. Just do it on YouTube. Just do it on YouTube or Entropy. On YouTube is probably the easiest way, I'd imagine. Because then if I get it on Cash App and Venmo, like, I don't have Cash App, but if I get it on Venmo or any of that, then it's like a whole different, there's like a doxing angle to that. There's a whole different tax angle to that. Don't want to deal with any of that shit. Just let's stick to the super chats. Entropy or YouTube. YouTube has got to be the easiest, I'd imagine. That's where we've gotten the majority of our super chats, is on YouTube. But again, it's never necessary. But like I said, it would help. It would help a weighing half out. I'm here. I'm doing this. I'm sacrificing. Not that I'm sacrificing a lot, but like, realistically, like, let's get honest for a second. A lot of people who I'm close with don't like what I talk about. They get upset about it. I sacrifice partial personal relationships. I sacrifice the ability for, like, theoretically, if this didn't work out, my name is out there. My image is out there. Me criticizing some of the most powerful people and institutions and, Jews themselves, and, like, calling violent black people super predators and saying women shouldn't vote. Like, that's all out there. Like, my ability to go get, like, a job, like a normal fucking 9 to 5, it's out the fucking window. Like, I do sacrifice a little bit with this, so it's like, and I do make some money. Like, Spotify actually does give me, relative to, like, how long I've been doing Spotify, they give me decent money, and it does improve as my show keeps getting bigger, and my show gets bigger every month, so eventually that will get to a point where, I'll be making some good money from it, but as of now, I don't make a ton. I make enough to support the bare, minimum necessities to survive as a person. And I'm cool with that. Because again, I've said this before, but none of this is about me. I'm not doing this for myself. I'm not doing it because I enjoy sitting in front of a camera, talking shit, joking around, having a fun time. I am doing this because I have watched as my white friends who were extremely qualified and went to good schools couldn't get jobs in some of the biggest cities and some of the best companies because of DEI and affirmative action. I have watched as the dollar has gone to shit. I have watched as people can't afford to get married. I have watched as women have been abused by feminism to the point that now, like, when you put feminism in its ultimate form, you get Bonnie Blue, you get Lily Phillips, you get these women getting fucked by 1,000 guys in 12 hours. That's what feminism is when it's truly practiced. I've watched all this happen in real time. I've watched us spend trillions of dollars overseas on wars and send billions of dollars a year overseas for financial aid, basically, with little to no return on our investment. And what has improved in this country? White people are dying off. People can't get jobs. People can't afford homes. You get canceled for saying the most basic shit. Like, we need to fix this country. So again, it's not about myself. It's about the young white Americans in this country who feel displaced. It's about the young Americans in this country who feel like they don't have a voice. It's about the Christians and Catholics in this country who feel like they have been ostracized when it's like, for so long, it was like Islamophobia and anti-Semitism. It's like, but people have been shitting on Christians and Catholics for so fucking long, and nobody gives a shit. People have been saying that white people should die for so long, and nobody gives a fuck. And it's time that people start giving a fuck. It's time that we have skilled voices speaking about it. And again, I'm not the best voice in this. Nick Fuentes is way better than me. There's dozens of people who've been doing this for far longer than I have. I've only been doing this for a year and a couple weeks. I've been doing this for a short period of time, but in that period of time, I've gained a decent following. People seem to resonate with the show. And why do they resonate with the show? They resonate with the show because the issues I talk about are real. These things are real. Is real. I'm kidding. But yeah, these things are real. We are facing these problems. White men are being discriminated against. We are being replaced. And by 2045, we will be a minority in our own country. Women feel too empowered to be bitches. Women feel too empowered to be sluts. The woman vote has kind of fucked this country up in a lot of ways too, because they're the ones, like, women will complain that they don't feel safe walking around in a city at night, and they'll blame men instead of blaming the fact that they vote for all the policies that allow mass migration. Like Renee Nicole Good, that woman who was fighting for Somalians wouldn't piss on her if she was on fire. Those Somalians would laugh at her because she's a white woman. They would probably want her dead because she's a lesbian. But she was willing to fight for that. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy where this country's at. So again, I don't do this for myself. I don't do it because, like, especially, like, it's weird sitting in front of a camera. For anyone who doesn't know what it's like, sit in front of a camera, try and talk for an hour or two. It's fucking weird. But I do, on some level, I enjoy it. I'm not saying I don't. I do enjoy doing the show. I have a fun time doing the show, as you guys can see. I let my humor bleed into it. But it's not about me. None of this is about me. This is about the young men in this country who have it worse off than their parents. The young men in this country who can't afford a home, can't afford a wife, can't afford kids. That's what this is about. It's about restoring value back to the dollar, restoring value back to what America is, restoring value what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman, restoring value back in people having their faith in Jesus Christ, that Christ is King, that He is our Lord and Savior, and that the only way to heaven is through Jesus Christ. And that's what this is about over it. I know that was a long rant and I went off and kind of veered off topic, but again, I think it's important all those things, that we get those things under control, that we fix these things, that we get back to the America that our founders intended. And I think if we lose that, we lose America. We lose what this country was built on. One of the things that, like, brought me into politics, and I know this is, like, cheesy and stupid, but I remember one of my relatives showed me the opening scene from Newsroom. The opening scene to Newsroom, where the guy is like, they're like, what's the greatest, what makes America the greatest country? They asked three people, and the one person's like freedom, one person's like, liberty and independence or some bullshit. And then the third guy, the main character, they're like, what makes America the greatest country? And he's like, it's not the greatest country anymore. We're fucked in math, we're fucked in writing, and he lists a bunch of different problems. And maybe they're not all the same problems I'm listing out, But a lot of it, that's what got me into it. It's like, is America the greatest country in the world on paper anymore, or is it just the idea of America that we, think about and love, and we want to get it back to that place? And it's about restoring America back to being the greatest possible country on paper, off paper, everything, in our minds, in our hearts, and being able to prove it. It's about showing that America is a country that sticks to its values. America is a country about freedom and order. America is a country that is successful. And that's what that scene meant to me. And I know, again, it seems all stupid and cheesy and whatever. And that's not what Charlie Kirk is one of the things that got me into politics as well. But that scene is what first got me interested in anything politically. And I saw that as a young child. And I think it's important that, I don't know if I could show it too, because it's like an HBO show and copyright and all that. I wish I could. But yeah, I think it's important that we get this country restored back to the founders' intentions. We get away from these foreign alliances and foreign entanglements for the most part. That we do practice manifest destiny. That we do try and be a superpower. That we do restore order and value in every way to this country. But let's get back to the comments. I'm really just fucking sidetracking now. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes it happens. I have crazy ADHD, as you guys fucking know, so shit's gonna happen.
It's unfair, but my issue is if they use the money to make more money, then it's a problem, but a lot of these Jews just live a modest life. And I'm totally against Zionist and them been a protected people, but if they ain't bothering PPL and not eating Jilin Forkin, then I'm cool with them trying to progress their PPL.
Yeah, on some level, I agree with you, actually. On some, I actually don't think they're doing a lot of, they are doing some. I do think, welfare abuse is harmful. But, you are right about, they are just living modest lives. They're not living, extremely lavish lifestyles, at least from what I saw in the video. You are right about that. It's not the exact same as the Somali fraud or some other fraud. But I do think fraud is a problem in general, and I do think, when you create a system that enables that, it only empowers more people to do that. And if more people start to do that, again, this country will fall down. If more groups, more religions, more races, or even just more, if Jews in their entirety in America acted that way, it would bankrupt the country. So, that's where my disagreement is.
One half.
Wait, it didn't get the whole comment.
Are you one half?
Yes, I'm a Wang half.
I looked up the term one half and it sounds somewhat homoerotic, no offense.
That's retarded.
White ass N-words going hard as fuck, that's the definition, face with tears of joy.
How is that homoerotic? We're going hard as fuck. We're going hard as fuck. That's just stupid.
James is the definition of a white ass nigga going hard as fuck.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Haven't seen you in the comments in a bit. She's got my back though. I appreciate you. Thank you. You're a Wang half.
Nick Fuentes is a total disaster. Nobody likes him, nobody respects him, and nobody is listening. Angry, irrelevant, and completely obsessed with attention, says crazy things because he has nothing else going for him. A bad joke for a sad corner of the internet. America deserves much better. Make America great again.
You sound retarded.
Room temperature Ike right here.
Yeah, room temperature IQ sounds about right. Sounds like a 75 IQ read.
You sound so dumb, says the dude who wants USA to have control of the entire Western Hemisphere because that's America first, and who can't go more than 5 minutes without feeling the need to hate on women or black people.
See, that's the thing. I don't hate any of them. I don't hate black people at all. I just want them to improve. Why is black America failing? Why, before the Civil Rights Act, did they have a fatherhood in the house rate of 78%, and then post-civil rights now they have 25, 26% of the fathers in the home? Are we more racist today than we were in 1964? No. We give billions of dollars in subsidies to black people, yet they're still failing. The violence only goes up. So Again, it's not about hating them. It's about pattern recognition, and it's about wanting them to do better. To be honest, if black people, like Nick Fuentes said it best, it's like black people were super pleasant all the time, and like they were like the best tippers, and they were the, super kind and polite. Like, people would be racist in the opposite direction. And again, I'm just quoting Nick here at this point, but it's like people would be like, a black person? Yeah, I'm so excited to see this person. But no, the reason it's a little bit the opposite in this country is because it's like a lot of the interactions you have with a lot of these people are not pleasant. They can be violent sometimes. And again, this is coming from somebody, and like a lot of people are like, oh, you don't know that many black. Like, I literally went to an all-black college for one semester. I was immersed in it. I saw it firsthand. So to all the people who are like, oh, you don't even know what you're talking about. It's like, I fucking do. If anyone knows what they're talking about, it is me. I was immersed in it for 8 months, 6 months, whatever the fuck it is, 6, 7. And women, again, I don't hate women. I just think men need to know their place and women need to know their place. When I say women shouldn't vote, I also think a lot of men shouldn't vote too. But definitely women shouldn't. Women think about micro topics, men think about macro topics. And same thing, they think in micro terms and macro terms. Women are very susceptible to propaganda. Women's biggest issue right now is like, can I abort my offspring? 23 million Gen Z babies were murdered through abortion. Women have killed more babies through abortion than men have killed at war in all of human history. So yeah, I do think there's a massive problem with the women. And I do think these women have been too empowered by feminism to act like sluts and expect to find a husband the way their mothers or grandmothers did. I do think there's a real reality to that. Like, my grandmother wasn't a fucking slut, and she was able to have a happy lifelong marriage that's still going on. These women who fuck 50 guys in the entire football team and the entire town in college think that, like, when they're out of college, that they're going to go girl boss it and find a husband. First of all, guys don't want you to be a girl boss. Guys don't, like, if you're a guy and you give a fuck about what your female counterpart, like, if you give a fuck about what your spouse is making, you're a pussy. Make enough to provide. Like, it's that fucking simple. If you're a male and you're, like, worried about what your wife's making, is she girl bossing hard enough? You're a pussy. Like, there's no better way to put it. You're just a bitch at that point. And then, yeah, same thing. It's like, if you're a guy and you're marrying a woman who's fucked half the football team, not only are there statistics to show that, like, a woman over 3 bodies has a harder time pair bonding with people, is more likely to divorce. But yeah, like, there's a lot of statistics showing that women who have more sexual partners have less ability to love their husband in the same way as women who have had less sexual partners. And the number that is generally agreed upon is 3. And that's been studied as well. So again, it's not about women. It's not about hating women or hating black people. I don't hate anybody. Let's be very clear about that. I hate the way people act, maybe, but I don't hate people. And it just comes to it comes down to, I want black people to do better. I want them to be more polite and considerate. I want them to commit less crimes. I want them to abuse social services less. That's about it. And with women, it's, again, I want them to know their place the same way I want men to know their place. But the difference is, Gen Z men seem to know their place. Gen Z men are doing what they can to be providers. Gen Z men are the number one demographic for people in church, in Catholicism right now. Women, on the other hand, they're still out acting like hoes. They're still creating OnlyFans when they turn 18. They're still looking up to these slut women on the internet. So that's the difference there. Hope that explains it to you, because you seem very fucking, over the last week, you've been, like, pissed off. And I don't know if it's because the fucking Bears lost. Believe me, I wanted them to win. Past the Eagles, when the Eagles got out of the fucking playoffs, I was like, okay, let's go fucking Bears at this point. I don't know if because the Bears lost, you're just being a little bitch or what it is, but it's like, take your fucking tampon out of your ass and be a fucking man. Like, come on. I know you're a fucking kid, but it's like, you gotta be smarter than this.
I will say, James, the first think you should just throw Nick aside, like you actually have some potential.
Why would I think Nick is one of the smartest people in the political movement.
Nick is not someone I will ever be able to take seriously because he usually doesn't differentiate between when he is serious or when he is edgelording.
What do you expect him to say? Hey guys, this is a joke before he says it every time. It's like, if you can't differentiate it yourself, that's a you problem. Like, what? Most people. Someone goes, can you check entropy when you get a sec? You send a super chat? Based? Let's see. If you did, thank you. Oh, fuck. Okay, we just got one. Let's go. Someone just sent $25 from Rice. Is there a message? You just put your at name as the message. If you wrote a message, I would have read the message out too. But thank you. I appreciate. See, that's what. Guys, I genuinely appreciate that. That's amazing. That just warmed my heart a little bit. That just made me feel bad about calling the other kid a retard a second ago. Come on, that's nice. There, guys, we're $25 closer to health insurance. Watch out, health companies. Once I get health insurance, I'm going to the doctor. Like, I haven't been to a doctor's appointment in like fucking 2 years, 3 years. I mean, I don't know. I don't really need to go to the doctor. I'm not going to waste it like that. But more just being a little funny. But hey, I'm serious. I don't own health insurance. So that is awesome. I appreciate you. Thank you. 07s for this guy. 07s for Rice Cooker. Rice Cooker, are you Asian, by the way? Or is that just like a funny name? Just curious. Thank you for that, though. Let's go. During the show, we get a super... Like, let's fucking go. That's awesome. That's very much appreciated. Helps with the health insurance. And Fidel, as much as we disagree, you got that daddy's credit card. Like, let's fucking get swiping. Get swiping, Fidel. No, I'm kidding. Fidel, I want to debate you. I want to either debate Fidel or fight him at brand risk. And I don't want to fight him because I would... Like, if I fought Fidel, I actually wouldn't want to hurt him. I would just think it would be funny. Like, it would be funny. Like, me and the viewer I disagree with the most fucking going at it, that would objectively just be hilarious. But again, one more big thank you to Rice Cooker. Let's go. Thank you for that. Appreciate that so much. And again, it's never expected, but it is always very appreciated. I very much appreciate it. I'm going to say a prayer for you later. He goes, no, I changed my name to make fun of a streamer that bought a very expensive rice cooker. LOL, call me Austin. Okay, thank you, Austin. You don't have to dox your real name. But thank you. I appreciate you. That's fucking awesome. That really is awesome. All right, let's keep going on with the comments as well. Because I've been doing the comments for a fucking while now.
You fear God, but haven't thought to work on your mouth? Weird. Praying that you realize to change that.
Well, sinning, like, cursing is not inherently sinful. Like, it's the way you curse, maybe, like, if you, like, curse people, curse at people, call people certain things, which occasionally I do, and sometimes I do that, because, again, I speak faster than I think. I have ADHD out the wazoo. I speak, in real life, I speak at, like, 1.25x speed. Like, I speak fast as fuck, and occasionally, we are humans. We are bound to sin, and I do go to confession for my sins. But yeah, I do try and work on it occasionally, and I try and not always go over the top. But occasionally, you know, I get caught up in the heat of the moment. But yes, the only thing I fear is God.
First of all, when someone says they work construction in the Jewish world where I come from, it means they own companies and they have Mexicans working for them. Second of all, I didn't see any fraud there. Maybe you want to speak it out for me. If someone works and they have a lot of kids, the government giving them $3,000 a year ain't helping nothing. The Somali fraud was $9 billion. I mean, come on, there are billionaires that live there, no billionaires from the Somalian community.
I agree. It's not the same as the Somalian fraud. And I was actually shocked when like I said, yesterday was my first time watching the video too. I was like, you probably saw my reaction at the end. I was shocked by it because, like, on some points I actually agreed with it. Or at least some of it. But where I will say it is fraud is when it becomes fraud is like when people realize that, like, the more kids they have, the more government benefits they could get. You do have a town where like 93% of the people are on like Medicaid and all these things. And they're really not doing much to improve how much they're making. And they are doing more to get government benefits, and they're putting less into the system than they're taking out. I do think that's fraudulent, and I think that's where it comes to. But again, it's not the biggest fraud in the world. Like, Black Lives Matter was probably more fraudulent than that, you know? And, like, in the end, like, this does, like, I think everybody should aspire to have big families. So at a point, I do find, like, some of that to be kind of, like, heartwarming and touching in the sense of, like, someone having 17 kids, that's cool. That's based. Even though I probably don't agree with them on a whole lot. So it is very different, and I think we actually probably have some similar beliefs on the subject, but we probably have some differing opinions. And when in the beginning you say, in the Jewish world where I come from, if they say they're working construction, it means they have Mexicans working for them. That's kind of funny, the way you put it like that. That just makes me laugh a little bit. It's a little funny. But yeah, I mean, like, there was the guy who was holding the construction thing, but he's clean as shit. Like, I doubt that's what they all meant. And I doubt they all own, like, what are the chances they all own construction companies? I mean, how many of them said that they worked in construction? A lot of them. So, yeah. And, like, objectively, Fidel, like, you seem like you're smarter than some of the other people in the chat sometimes. Although me and you disagree, you know. You seem kind of, you know your shit at least. Can't you objectively say that, like, someone who has, like, 17 kids and knowing they're going to get government benefits off that and is working off, like, a teacher's salary or, like, a small business salary, that on some level that it is fraudulent, knowing that they're going to get all these government services the more kids they have? It creates an incentive. So that's where I think it becomes a problem. I want to see what you say about that.
That town was promised to them 7,000 years ago.
Yeah. Probably 6 million years ago.
Oh, shut F up, that joke is getting old.
Still kind of funny. It's actually funny when you see it.
Every time you touch or look at a quarter's ridges, it should be a constant reminder of who our enemy really is. Long live the crusade. It's Cruzada. Long live the crusade. Thank you for the correction. Also, James, don't get mad us for using sayings in Latin-based languages. Spanish was the language of the greatest Catholic empire that ever existed. As a Catholic, you should appreciate that.
I'm not going to get mad because you're doing that. I'm going to get mad because you're telling me not to get mad. Don't tell me what the fuck to get mad at. Like, don't tell me what I can and can't be mad at. Like, what the fuck?
Favorite person in history?
That's hard. I mean, Jesus Christ, probably. But if I have to go, like, more political, historical figure, something like that. You guys know I'm a huge Helen Keller fan. No, I'm kidding. Favorite person in history. This is a good one. So you have a few people bouncing back and forth. You know, I don't, like, is it my favorite, like, who I like the most or who I find the most interesting? Like, I find Columbus very interesting. I even find, like, Chief Tecumseh very interesting. Chief Tecumseh wouldn't be my favorite. Columbus is up there. George Washington, obviously. Let's see. JFK, very interesting, and he'd be up there. If I could say Jesus Christ, that would be my answer. If not, it would probably be between, like, Columbus and maybe, like, JFK or George Washington. Trying to think. Someone says don't say Epstein. Epstein, maybe we give it to the king himself. Jeff Epstein, New York financier, maybe. That's a good question, though. I like that question.
George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and Mahatma Gandhi have to be the top 3 for me.
Yeah, I disagree with Gandhi there, but
Jesus Christ.
yeah. See, I would think that's I would say that's my same answer if I'm allowed to do that.
Jamin, why the fuck do you have Gandhi there? Are you Indian? He is, and so what? Gandhi was still an influential historical figure. You know why even traditionalist conservatives should admire him, because he believed in non-violence unlike other nationalist groups in India at the time. Also, what's some of why all's problem with Indians? I mean, have you how extremist Pakistanis are?
It's a bullshit comparison, though.
Indians are typically pretty nice and usually pro-Western, at least the Hindu and Christian ones, unlike Pakistanis. As an American, why include Gandhi? He's not American, Western, or even important in our side of the world. Also, we import too many Indian with H1 volt. Don't hate them, but their country sucks.
Yeah. I don't want my country to look more like India. 100% agree there.
Keep in mind, Hasidic Jews are one of least political demographics in America. They usually are extremely antisocial and non-civic.
Okay.
ICE arrests dozens of criminal illegal aliens convicted of murder, child rape, and more in sanctuary state Minnesota. Violent rioters and politicians in Minnesota are actively trying to protect some of the worst criminal offenders in the world. Despite their interference, ICE is focused on getting the job done.
Yeah, but they're not doing it. Like, we were promised millions of deportations. Here's one of the big problems, and that I like, what really pisses me off about like things with ICE and the media. Like, Trump went on Joe Rogan. Trump went on all these podcasts, and like, obviously Trump's pitch is like, we're going to get the illegal immigrants out. That's a massive part of his pitch for his presidential campaign. And like, Joe Rogan obviously knows that. You know, he's smart enough of a guy to realize that. And then you have Joe Rogan then saying like, oh, they're like doing too much. They're doing like, you know, kind of shitting on ICE in ways and shitting on Trump. And it's like Theo Vaughn, same thing, who talked to Trump. And it's just like, they have deported 280,000 or less last year. Trump wanted to deport millions, and you guys are all up in arms about 280,000? Like, guys, get with the fucking program. We're either going to fix this problem or we're not, and they're not helping us right now, and that pisses me off. And ICE isn't getting the job done, and it's not necessarily just their fault. It's the politicians' faults and the judges' faults who think they fucking can do anything.
Not my words, this a news article.
Nice. All right, this is the last string of comments, then we'll refresh, see if we get anything.
The Bible says forgive and forget.
What are you specifically referencing? I know, but like what? Forgive and forget what? What do you want me to forgive and forget?
You agreeing with the liberal just shows how crazy you got in your obsession for Jews, and you'll go so far to agree with liberals. Don't say the world got crazy, you got crazy.
I agree with the liberal that a police showing up to your door because you put a Facebook post out there criticizing Israel is corrupt. If that's crazy, that I think free speech should stand, if that's me agreeing with liberals in a way that I'm going crazy, then you're a retard. Like, come on. Be objective. Stop fucking with that bullshit.
Most your ancestors didn't speak English either. That's not true at all. The great majority of people in Miami speak English.
No, so many of them fucking speak Spanish.
Do you think the Denver Broncos have Super Bowl chances after Bo Nix broke his ankle?
I'm an Eagles fan, and we won the Super Bowl with Nick Foles, so anything's possible, but likely I think the Pats are going to win the Super Bowl at this point. Drake May is a fucking all-star. I mean...
Shut up, dumbass.
Oh, wow. I just had someone text me now that they want to hop on the show tomorrow. Let me see. I literally just saw it pop up on my monitor. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. I've had him on the show before, the liberal kid Matt. I've debated him a few times. Should I have him on the show tomorrow to debate him again? Let me know in the chat. Let me know what you guys think. In the comments, in the chat, and everything. Someone goes, shut up, dumbass. I was talking to Jamin.
I think the explanation I gave on Judaism and Zionism and the one about my IQ
I don't know what you're referencing again.
Go F yourself, Philip.
Okay. Christian's always beefing with someone in the comments, and it's because he puts himself in these situations where he gets too emotionally involved sometimes, I think.
We must deport Don Lemon and his gay white boyfriend as well, to Somalia preferably.
That would be hilarious if we deported Don Lemon. So funny. Alright, I'm refreshing, seeing if we got anything else. I don't think we did. I think that's all of it. Let's go. What a show. And we got a $25 super chat from someone watching in the live show. That's awesome. Truly appreciate it. Thank you. And he even said, yeah, do it content. Okay, maybe I'll have Matt on. I don't know. Possibly. I would say it's possibly I would say it might happen. Possibly we'll have Matt on the show tomorrow. Matt was the guy on the other side of the Jubilee debate that I did when I was on Jubilee debating mass deportations. He was anti-mass deportations, and I was very pro-mass deportations. Let me know what you guys want me to debate him on. I'm trying to think, what could I debate? I could probably debate him on the ICE stuff, although I did a debate on that already on the show. I don't know if that would be interesting to you guys to see me reiterate the same points, or if you guys would want something different. So let me know what you guys want. I like doing what the audience likes. I like doing what you guys like. It's been a good show, though. I mean, I spent fucking probably almost an hour reading all those comments. We had a good amount of comments. I think I spent a good amount of time going over them. Like I said, I'm having a good day. It's a fun time. Yeah, nothing else. I just refreshed a third time, so we're just going to X out of that now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for tuning into the show. Great show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please remember to like, smash the follow button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the show. Rate the show 5 stars on Spotify. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow me on X. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Kick. We're doing a lot of the shows live on Kick now, which I enjoy doing. We have the live chat. But if you're a Spotify watcher, don't leave I get paid for views on Spotify, and that's how I make some of this fucking money that's eventually going to eventually fund my health insurance. So let's not lose the Spotify listeners. But if you're listening on YouTube or Rumble, find your way over to Kick, you know? You'll get to see the show an hour before anyway, you know? You'll be ahead of the curve, ahead of everything. It'll be like your own Project Looking Glass, like you're Charlie Kirk and you're the time traveler. Alright, but that's it. Someone said W show GG's. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning into the chat today. So hopefully, let's just go over one more time some of the things I'm trying to set up. Someone says, we need to get you affiliate on Kick so we can sub monthly. Dude, trust me. I'm with you there. I'm newer to Kick, that's why. But collaboration with Politically Provoked being planned right now. Brittany with Politically Provoked. Collaboration with Isaiah Asher on the 30th. Possible collaboration with Matt tomorrow. James Fishback interview Monday. And another collaboration that I will not leak yet. Not a big name or anything, but a very interesting topic and a very knowledgeable person on the topic. So, a lot of big shit coming up. You know, we didn't do a lot of collaborations last year, but this year, could this be my generational run? We'll see. But thank you guys for the show. W show. Again, one last time, like, smash the follow button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the show. Rate the show 5 stars. Follow me on everything. You guys know the fucking drill. And join my Telegram as well. Last thing I'll say. If you join the Telegram, you're ahead of the curve every fucking day. Sometimes I post polls like, what are we going to talk about today? You guys vote. Let me know what you guys think. I ask you guys about certain reaction streams I want to do and if they're worth doing. I drop voice notes in there. I dropped like a 5-10 minute voice note the other day just talking about shit that was happening. I post funny memes in there. I put tweets in there. I put something in there today about, we didn't even talk about it today. Maybe we'll cover it tomorrow, but there was 2 police officers who were refused treatment at a hospital today because the nurse thought they were ICE. What happened to first do no harm? Crazy. I'm not going to get into that now. We've already been doing the show for almost 2 hours, so maybe we'll touch on that tomorrow. Maybe I'll talk more about it in the Telegram. We'll see. But join that. Join everything. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching the show today. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, great rest of your night, and I will see you guys tomorrow on Casual Friday. Hope you guys have a great day, blessed night, and a blessed day. Thank you.